Joe Pagac didn't go to school to become a painter. He went to college to pursue film, but during his sophomore year, one of his teachers told him he had a hand to be an artist.
My dad was very against me being an artist when I was growing up. He wanted me to be a realtor and, do art on the side, and you can just have a hobby. And, my mom was very encouraging as far as, just follow your dreams and enjoy life.
35-year-old Pagac kept on painting murals, outside, inside, for different jobs and himself. His love of art turned into a business. Here, Pagac is working on a mural for neighborhood associations. TEP allowed them to use the wall, and Habitat for Humanity facilitated the fundraising.
Working with the neighborhood, we were able to kind of come up with a good fusion of art and history, which took a little while because they were much bigger on the history than the art.
Pagac does not have an exact style. He likes to paint what is realistic. He usually does not have a set schedule, but since there were some liability concerns with this work, he worked almost a 9 to 5 with a security guard watching over him. At the time, he had been working on this mural for about 2 weeks. He has completed a mural nearly as big in a week when he did not have a set schedule.
There were some liability concerns involved because this is a Tucson Electric Power substation with something like 41,000 gigawatts or however they measure it behind those walls. So safety is really important.
Pagac and the mural were funded by the neighborhood association that thought a community-minded artist would be best. Pagac starts his murals with a grid. He used to not trust it since different pieces of his artwork would look too big up close but too small far away. He would have to paint over it to make it fit just right. Over time, Pagac has learned to trust himself.
This one's, I think, maybe one of the biggest I've done. I've done a few others that are almost this big downtown, but this is definitely one of the more challenging walls I've had to paint.
The neighborhood association, they made the decision to go with Joe. After interviewing several other artists, looking at several designs, I guess Joe's design just really grabbed them. He was very keen on listening to the residents and understanding the history of the area, which is what the mural depicts.
The Rialto Theater is one of Joe Pagac's canvases. He repaints over his own paintings about every 2 weeks. Pagac loves to paint murals outside where people can walk by, see him, and interact with him. He painted a mural of Prince after he passed away that people really loved. He typically gets a lot of work because of how quickly he can paint.
So I was doing these giant murals for these bands, and that's what kind of really helped me build up my name in Tucson and get me all this downtown work. Because people would drive by it, and even if they didn't like a mural there, 2 weeks later a new band would be coming in and they'd have me paint over it, and I'd do it in a different style, and then maybe they'd like that one.
Pagac has been bashed for his work before. He took those comments, did not let quitting cross his mind, and thought not only about his performance while painting, but what he does for the future. He is pretty famous around the Tucson area, but not everyone knows of him.
Anybody that's a customer, I know by sight, and usually not by name. That name I've heard, so whether he's a customer too, I don't know.
Pagac has marked his territory all around the world, but Tucson is where he is the most comfortable. For Arizona Cat's Eye, I'm Stevie Katz.